Hi, it's Josh Spinks, ex-professional motocross rider. We're here with the Let's Talk Bikes YouTube channel, where we break down old bikes, new bikes, and everything in between. Today's choice is the Triumph TF450-RC. So how this is going to work, first up, we're going to have a good look over this bike. Any changes, modifications I've made to it. Following that, we're going to take it onto the track against the clock for a lap time challenge, see how fast it goes. Then the most important thing, throw a fat whip on it, see how big the whip can be on this machine. And if you stay till the end, I'll give you a full rundown of this Triumph 450. As far as modifications and changes go to this bike, not many at all. So I've popped my handlebars on, 827 bend. We've got some hand guards just to help the roost, no performance gain there. Cast suspension, one of my good friends and sponsors. We've not changed any internals, as in different systems, anything like that. This is completely standard KYB with slightly different oil level, maybe some shims altered in there just to change the stack and the feel. So absolute minimal changes, the KYB is incredible. Let's Talk Bikes is presented to you by P1 Constructions, civil engineer specialists. Thank you very much to those guys. I've given it one more on the rear sprocket, just because I wanted a little bit more snap out the gate and a little bit more out the tight corners, and it enables me to use third gear a little bit as well. I love to use third gear on my bikes. The only other thing, as you can see, slightly grippier seat cover. The standard seat cover itself is great anyway, but just adding the ribs just helps you lock in on the powerful 450. So that's all with performance upgrades. Additional to that, I've got a couple of extra bits. So Talon give us these wheels, riding at a high level, hitting things quite hard, you need a strong set of wheels, so thanks to those guys. We've got a bit of protection, Pro Carbon, they're always good to us, just making the bike look a lot better and protecting it, and that's it. As a standard bike, this is so competitive, absolutely love the thing. Here it is then, let's get the lap time in, let's see how fast we can go on this bike. We've got the GPS tracker on, super accurate. And we're at the nicely prepared Moto 101. Beautiful. So the lap times are in at a 1:38.35, which is the fastest yet. It's fractionally faster than my KTM 450 last year. Even though I feel like the track wasn't quite as flowy as that day on the KTM. So there's a few reasons why I feel better on this bike. A lot of it comes from the front end feel, the overall balance of the bike and the way it sits into the corners. When I first tried the 250 months and months ago last year, it's the first thing that I noticed. You could get on the bike, feel very comfortable straight away. That's translated over to this bike, and it's kind of why I've not really took it that far away from the standard setup. All I wanted to do was hold the forks up just a little bit more. Same with the shock, just so I could charge into things and get a bit more stability at high speed, but not go too far away from what the bike's really good at, which is comfort, turning, and front end feel, especially when you're on the front brake. Right, here's the big one then. Here's the most important part of the day. Let's see how big this bike will whip. Racing to the finish line, seatbelt, fast whips, got a win in mind. See me when I skirt off, ain't no. So how the Triumph thing all come about was one of my top sponsors, Mark Williams, got in contact with Triumph West London last year when they was talking about taking on the motocross side of things. Then we got some conversations going, had a meeting and made it happen. So here's the bike, thanks to those guys. Thanks to Mark Williams for what he's doing. And then we've got a long list of long-term sponsors, Pico, head-to-toe kit, part of the family that's been a long-term sponsor, First MX, that's been over 10 years now of support. As mentioned, P1 Constructions, they're helping towards the riding as well. We've got Motoverde with the cleaning products, we've got Carl Anderson KAS suspension, making this bike even better than it is standard. Thank you very much to Total Tuning Northeast for their support. We've got Talon, as we mentioned earlier, and OK with the casual side of things. And a shout out to Jay at Field Engineering. Gets the really rubbish jobs of changing my tyres and mousses all the time, so I really appreciate that, bud. And a big thank you to Reset Ascension Media for putting these cool videos together. So what I've noticed about this bike, it doesn't matter what track I'm riding, conditions, wet, dry, it's minimal changes I'm making. On previous bikes I've had to make some quite significant changes to sag and fork height, where on this I just feel like I can pull it out, maybe ride it, maybe a mill here, mill there, a couple of clicks here and there. I've got it at a point with Carl Anderson, and I think just the general chassis that I can just be comfortable from the off, and I felt that on the 250. When I rode that a few months ago, it's confidence inspiring. I really feel good on this bike. I feel like I can be more aggressive, which is important for a 450. Some bikes you feel a little bit sketchy on, you have to be quite respectful of the power, where this is a very broad, it's very smooth. Second gear lasts some time, it's not like a short bursty gear. There's a bit of legs to second, you can rev the bike out, and it's very smooth. It's very easy to ride, it's not taxing on the body. Corners jump out to me, tight turns, flowy turns, even at speed the bike's well, and now we've kind of firmed the front end up. Before standing it was a little bit dippy, very comfortable, almost too comfortable, and we had to ramp that up just to get a little bit more stability and be able to charge into things, maybe flatland some jumps. Power wise, like we say, there's fours and against. Because it is very smooth and easy to ride, there's conditions like where I bury it into some berms where I feel like maybe I would like a little bit more kind of pickup, a bit more stomp to drag me out of some of the corners, maybe in sand. That's kind of a reason I've gone up one tooth on the rear sprocket to try and get in the rev range a little bit quicker. It kind of brings third gear into play a little bit more, but gives it a bit more pickup out of the start. I do think the clutch could be maybe a bit more stronger. What I mean by that is a little bit more grab from the clutch. This is a standard clutch. It's obviously got the Hinson cover, but there's no Hinson internals. It's just the standard Triumph clutch, which works well. It gives a very broad, like smooth kind of delivery of power, but I feel like off the mesh and maybe some of the starts, I want a bit more pop. I want some more grab. And that's something that we're going to kind of look into now we've got some hours on the bike. So I just really think how standard we have the bike and how competitive it is in the racing we're doing. I'm putting some podium results together. It's just a testament to how good this bike is. And like we said earlier, anything with Ricky Carmichael's name to it has some thought, has some testing, and I feel that that's what they've done here. We're running stock pipes, stock ignition, minimal changes, and I feel very comfortable and competitive on this bike. That's a wrap here for this episode of the Let's Talk Bikes YouTube channel. I'm not sure what bike it's going to be next, but there's a good chance it's going to be a two-stroke.